UFC heavyweight prospect Justin Tafa. Appreciate the time. Good to get you back
What's up,
on.
bro?
What's going on?
Yeah. Nah, nothing much, man. Just out here, just trying to get some work in, getting ready for this fight coming up.
Definitely, man. How has the work been the last couple of months? Has it been some obstacles, doing your camp or even just training overall?
Yeah, I think the gyms here were only open to contact last week, so before that, you had to be like 2 meters apart. So to be honest, it has been a bit weird. It hasn't been the same. Obviously, I've done my last couple of camps at Tiger Muay Thai, and this is my first one at home. But and you got to do what you got to do. You just can't just sit there at home and you know, you need a fight to get paid.
Definitely, man. Now, I want to go back to your first two fights, man. Maybe observing from the outside that in your second fight, you're a little bit more patient. Was that the biggest difference, do you think, between the two fights?
Yeah, definitely. I think just taking my time and knowing there's a lot, like I think too, like being in the octagon the second time, I got to like judge, how big the octagon was and all that because I was used to like, I was formerly fighting in XFC, which was only like one quarter the size of that. So like, covering distance and all that was a bit weird because obviously there's a big stadium, big crowd, and you take a couple of steps and you're still in the middle of the octagon. Whereas in the local shows, you take 2 steps and you're in the opposite corner. So yeah, it was good. It was good. Definitely that patience part. Just I got to take my time and capitalize on my opponent's mistakes.
Yeah, you definitely did capitalize. When we spoke before that fight, you told me that you planned on getting the finish in the second round, but it didn't even take that long. You got it out. You got it done in the first. Was that a
Yeah.
surprise to you that he came out the way he did in that fight?
You know what? I would have said it would be a surprise, like if say 2 weeks before the fight. But then I had Glenn Sparv cornering me, and we were in Auckland, and he was like, "Hey man, I think Juan Adams is going to Greg Jackson's gym. Like you need to watch out. I think he might come out, trying to be all fighting on the way they fight, which is all long guard, touchy stuff." And it was pretty funny because I had Glenn like kind of emulating that, and then it ended up happening, and I was half smiling, and like in my head and during the fight, because I was like, "Fuck." Usually Glenn's, just good for wrestling. He's got no brain, but this time around, he's actually brought the goods. So now, man, we kind of expected the kind of route he was going to take.
Now with Glenn, I'm pretty sure you don't have him for this camp. So how has it been not having that guy around? He couldn't because he kind of keeps your spirits high too, right?
Yeah, definitely keeps you honest. Like always wants you to put in the hard yards, and there's a lot of time after training to laugh, but during training it's all work and all professional. It's just been a different type of camp without having Glenn, like there as one of my grappling partners or sparring partners, but it'll happen in the future. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I can show some of his, the things that he's helped me with my last 2 camps. I can showcase in this fight.
Definitely the impact is there. Not many fighters, enter the UFC so early in their career like yourself. What have you learned throughout the first two fights, with the UFC, like outside of fighting?
Um, I don't know, to be honest. Like, I'm still at that learning stage now. I got no one else to kind of compare myself to, because very rarely has someone, going into two pay-per-views in their first two fights, two main cards, and unless you're CM Punk or something. But yeah, man, I couldn't answer that. Sorry, bro.
Well, there's other guys like Mickey Gall. You see in his career how it planned out. He's had, I think, probably like 7, 8, 9 fights in the UFC now. A lot of guys, they kind of fizzle out, but it seems like you kind of found your place within the first two fights.
Yeah, man, I'm still learning, and I'm just getting started. Like I feel like 'cause I didn't even have an amateur career, so I still am finding my feet, and the fire is still burning, as you know, because I'm still young, you know, still young in the game. So yeah, the passion's there.
Maybe your amateur career was, fighting your brothers growing up. That was the amateur career.
Yeah, probably, bro.
Now, after your last fight, you got back to Australia. How long before they put you on lockdown?
Man, so after my last fight, I went to watch the UFC Auckland, and then
Hmm.
I came back, and I think, man, it was like 10 days, and it's like the whole world closed. You know, I was um I was already preparing for UFC. I forgot what number it was, but the UFC that was in Perth. Hopefully, you know, trying to get a spot in that card, and then far out, the whole world just closed down for those few weeks. So
Going back to Auckland, that was the first time you were a guest fighter for the UFC, I believe.
yeah. It was crazy,
How
man.
was that experience, man? That must have been cool.
Well, I haven't been back. That was my first time back in Auckland. You know, like after being in the UFC, so I got to actually see, you know, like all the fan base that I did have in Auckland, and it was insane. I was just like, I was getting swarmed, and next time I won't go through the front gate to go to, you know, to a UFC event in New Zealand, man. It took me like an hour to get to my seat, but that's things you dream of when you're young, eh?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. That's definitely what you dream of as becoming a UFC fighter and going back home and getting the response that you did. While you were in isolation, what did you do, man? Did you just chill out, or were you training? I think you were with your brothers, right? So you must have been
Yeah,
training
yeah,
with them.
yeah. Well, after the UFC, because I was a bit, um, you know, 50-50 on the Perth card, because I was scheduled to get some surgery done, so I was kind of planning around all that, and I was just gonna lax. But then, yeah, we did a couple of drunk sparring sessions or something. Nah, we just chilled out the first couple of weeks, and then once I heard wind of a fight island, just got back into training.
The surgery, was it just like minor injuries that you just want to take
Yeah,
care of, lagging
yeah,
stuff?
just like clean out, you know, cleaning out some joints and that.
So you're just gonna postpone that until maybe later this year after this fight?
Yeah. I keep saying that after every fight, man. So maybe.
Now, when you got back into the gym, where are you training right now? Who are the coaches you're working with? Who's the training partners?
Yeah, so right now I'm training at a gym called NTG here, prestigious gym out in Queensland. Nuggets, you know, it's a Thai boxing gym, and they got a few killers there too. But yeah, my older brother's, you know, he's been steering the ship right now. My older brother Gerard, and then my training partners have been my little brothers, you know, my younger brothers, Junior, and my baby brother Pati. So they've been my sparring partners. You know, they've been there in the trenches every day, just getting in their work. It's all right, you know, because obviously Junior's a, you know, elite striker being in the glory promotion, and my younger brother can hold himself too, man. He's not a small kid.
How have those sessions been with them? It must be a little bit different because they're not gonna hold back. They're your brothers.
Yeah, man, we've had some rough sparring sessions there. It's been worse than some of my fights, man. I've been like, fuck, these guys are trying to. Did I not wash the dishes or something? They're beating me up. Fuck, did I take their socks or something?
Yeah.
Nah, it's been good, man. Like it's been good. It's they keep me honest. You know, sometimes it's better than the sparring you get at other gyms.
Your upcoming opponent, Passau, he looks like he's willing to stand and trade a little bit with his opponents. How do you feel about this matchup?
I think it'd be a good fight. You know, like I know he likes to swing, get in, get out, kind of like throw some wild stuff. But I think if you know, like if we trade, the power difference will show. You know, and then we'll see how he reacts.
Have you talked to the UFC about like what you need to do to get to Fight Island? Have you talked to like people that are already there?
Yeah, I was talking to Frank Hickman yesterday about it because he's gonna stay there for the duration of Fight Island because he's helping Peter Yan and Alex Volkanovski, and he's gonna corner myself. So yeah, he was telling me how it's been there, and all the testing and all the shoving stuff down your throat and up your nose and stuff. So, but logistics wise, it's been a bit difficult. We've had a couple of flight changes, due to different states having, a spike in cases recently. I think Melbourne got shut down, so we had to fly out of Sydney now to get to Abu Dhabi.
When are you flying out? Is it next week?
Yeah, next week. I fly out next Friday, so
Okay.
a bit earlier than usual, but another day in Fight Island, I guess.
Are you taking of course you're taking your brother Gerard, but which
Yeah.
other brother are you taking?
Nah, just Gerard.
Okay.
I'm trying to save money because UFC won't pay. The extra tournament come out of my own pocket, so
Mm.
I'll get Danny. Danny's my manager. Danny Rubenstein's gonna be the third tournament.
All right. That's a deadly combo right there.
Yeah,
Frank.
yeah,
Gerard and Danny.
yeah, man. Hopefully a winning combat.
Yeah, definitely, man. Now with this fight coming up, how do you see it playing out? Do you see another first round finish, or do you see a second round finish? I don't know. What do you feel?
I think I'm gonna submit this guy. Eh? Nah, that would. Nah. I think a second round knockout. I think he's not gonna know what kind of power. Like I've seen the guys he's fought, and it's easy to react to people that like it's comfortable to brawl against people that can't hold their own. But I think the second round he'll stop moving around, and I'll clip him on the chin or something.
Definitely. Now after this fight, you said that you might go get some work done, surgery or whatever. But do you see yourself maybe not doing that and coming back and if they open the Fight Island again, just hopping back on and getting another fight before the end of the year?
Yeah, definitely. If I don't get that 50K bonus, like we'll see how the body pulls up, and hopefully fight in America or something.
Do you like that better, fighting in the States?
I don't care where I fight. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just harder fighting back home, to be honest. And it's kind of easier fighting out, being the guy that travels, and because you're away from everything that you're used to, kind of thing, and it's like less pressure, I guess.
Yeah, because you do have a large family and a big fan base in Australia where they will travel to. Let's say you fought in Perth, there would just be massive people just phoning you and messaging you, and it'd be overwhelming,
for
right?
sure. Yeah, it'd be like 100 people come, So it's kind of good. It's just me and my brother. We just small talk, play some PlayStation. Frankie comes with his, with his his jokes and that, and then easy week.
Definitely. Well, yeah, that's what Volkanovski's coach, Joe Lopez, was saying. He said that he doesn't really like fighting in Australia because, like you said, there's so many people there. It's better to just fly stateside and fight over there. There's just less distractions.
Yeah, definitely. And even like when you're a fighter, at the same time it's your family and your friends, so you don't want to be rude to them, and then sometimes you go out, spend time with them, but really you should just be chilling out with all the all the obligations that fight week has, media wise and that.
All right, man. July 25th, UFC Fight Island, Abu Dhabi. Justin, thank you so much for the time, man. Always good catching up with you. And good luck on the fight and safe travels, man.
Cheers, bro. Cheers for having me again.